So today we are going to hop over to my craft table and we're going to unbox the new Cricut hat press. So we are going to unbox it, we're going to set it up, we're going to make a first hat with it. I am really excited about playing with this new tool, and I would love you to hop down in the description and check all the things out and hit that subscribe button and join me for my next video, because today we are going to go over all of the basics, and get the things set up and do a first project. But then I got so excited about having a hat press that I popped into Amazon and I bought like 5 or 6 different kinds of hats because I wanted to test them all. I wanted to see what this hat press could do and what we could make. So we're gonna do that in my very next video. And by the way, full disclosure, Cricut did send me this hat press for me to share with you and talk to you about and to test out and just, give my own opinions. They did not sponsor today's video, but they did send me a hat press. So I just want to be honest with you guys and let you know what's up there. By the way, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss my next video where we go through all the different hat variations. And let's hop over to the craft table and give it a whirl. Okay, so here we are on the craft table. And so this is the hat press box. And so what we're going to do is we're going to pop this baby open and see exactly what's inside. So I've only cut, the little label across the bottom, but I have not actually opened it yet. So here we go. Oh, nice. So this is the hat press and this is the base for the hat press. So if you own an easy press, you've seen something like this before. And then there is the instruction manuals and like how to set up your hat press. And then, oh yes, so I have heard about this and seen it, and oh gosh, it's actually quite heavy. Oh my stars, that's going to work perfectly to like hold the hats in place. Okay, so let's take off some of this plastic wrapping and get this baby set up. By the way, I want to point this out. So as I'm looking at this, it says allergy warning. Let's see real quick. Pull this out. Allergy warning, this product contains walnut shells. So I actually have a nut allergy in my family, and it's actually kind of severe. So my youngest has multiple allergies. But so I would just say, if you have a nut allergy, maybe you don't want to do this. But that said too, he has handled things before and not ever had a problem. So I guess it's just a personal thing. If you have, a nut allergy, you might not want to. But I will tell you that walnut shells are very dense. They're very hard. And so I could see them being a great filler for this. So, just keep that in mind if you're thinking about grabbing one of these, whether or not you or someone close to you that would be using it has a nut allergy. Okay, let's open her up. Okay, now the next thing that we need to do is we need to activate our machine, and we need to do that on our mobile device. So either your iPad or your iPhone or your Android. So you need to go into the App Store and get the Heat Press app. Once you've downloaded that app, then you can go through the process of activating your machine. So it's going to bring you to a screen that looks like this. It's extremely simple. You literally just have to follow the prompts. So we're going to click Setup. It'll bring us to this screen where it's searching for our Cricut heat press. Once it finds it, now you do have to turn on your heat press. Once it finds it, it's going to start connecting to the hat press. And then it's going to tell you that it will activate it. You just have to agree to the Cricut terms and policies. So it even shows you like the little progress bar. And once it's done, you're actually ready to just move on and create something fun. And so this is what your screen will look like normally. So when you are using your hat press all the time, you're just going to be able to pop in, start a new project. You can do custom times and temps. It gives you tutorials. It's all laid out right there for you. Okay, so just a couple more things before we move on from activation. I wanted you guys to know that you do not have to have a Cricut to use the hat press. You do, however, have to have a login to Cricut Design Space to be able to activate it. And you do have to use the Heat Press app to activate it, but you don't have to use the Heat Press app to use it all the time. So, I mean, I personally will be using it because I want all the custom features, but you could literally, it's as easy as, you know, pressing the heat button 1, 2, and 3, and then the go button. So the bottom one is for your lightweight fabrics, anything delicate, and so that's going to be your lowest heat, and I believe it's a 30-second timer. The second one is for a 60-second timer, and heat probably for everyday iron-on, that kind of thing. And then the top one is going to be infusible ink, so that's your hottest heat, and it's going to be for 90 seconds. But if you use that Heat Press app, which we were just in, you're going to be able to customize all those things. Okay, so just a couple of other things. So this is the everyday iron-on. This is the Cricut brand Strong Bond. So that's what they're recommending for you to use when you're creating your hats with iron-on. And the other thing is you need strong heat-resistant tape, not the regular. So this is the regular heat-resistant tape that we use in a lot of our projects. This is purple, so it's a different color, and it's slightly, you'll notice it's slightly wider, and it is a strong heat-resistant tape. And it does fit, it will fit in the tape dispenser, so that's good. I just need to get another one, right? So inside of your box, they give you a sample, but then you can buy these that has, you know, a whole lot more on it. Okay, so let's go ahead and move these out of the way and talk about the pressing form. Okay, so a couple great things about this pressing form. I've already told you that it's really solid, which is awesome, but it also has this great handle on the bottom, so you can really hold your hat in place while you're working on it. I love that, so great job on their part. And then this is a Cricut blank. So these are going to be what you're going to want to use for infusible ink because they test all of these, and so these are going to work perfectly for infusible ink, and so will the trucker hat that I showed you before. So just make sure that if you're doing infusible ink, I would personally go with the Cricut brand. Okay, when you're going to place a hat on the form, a couple of things. We want to make sure that this sweatband right here, you want to make sure that the sweatband is turned out. Okay, so you don't want there to be anything lumpy or anything in there. You want to make sure that you turn that out. Okay, and so then when we place that on, oh, and the other thing is like you may want to open this up. And let it be, you know, just easy and open. Place that on the form, and then you can tighten it back up because we're going to want that front to be super tight. Okay, and once we get it on, then we can just take the strap. There we go. Okay, so another thing, the form is made for adult hats. Now, it's been my understanding that you can flip it on its side. I don't have a child's hat to test, but you could flip it on its end, and children hats, you know, fit really well on the end. So I have not tried that myself, but that's my understanding. Okay, so now that it's firmly on, the sweatband is down, we are ready to put a design on. Okay, so I wanted to pop into Cricut Design Space with you for just a minute because I wanted to do a couple of things. I wanted to let you know some of the beautiful designs that are in Cricut Design Space. So if you don't own a Cricut and you're interested in that, they have some really great designs, thousands, hundreds of thousands of designs in Cricut Design Space. The other thing is I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the surface area that you have to work with. Now, if you're working with Cricut blanks, you pretty much have a 2.5 by 4.25 area that is, you know, recommended for you to put your design on. So designs like this are perfect. This one right here is a little more difficult just because it's stacked. Now, if you know how to use the contour tool, you could pop in, change this up a bit, put them side by side, and use this design. By the way, I'll put that video up above in case you want to learn how to use the contour tool. And then you could do things like this is perfect. This is a perfect design. This one is even better because it's long and, you know, not as tall. And then you could just do iconic things like this. And then I even went in and looked for designs that would be layered, you know, multiple colors that are not, you know, laying on top of each other. So like this one would be, you know, on top of each other. Maybe you would use the slice tool and make them one layer if you were using infusible ink or something like that. And then you've also got these, which are, you could use the pen tool with these and use infusible ink pens and put those on. So there's just a ton of different ways. It doesn't all have to be iron-on, doesn't all have to be cut infusible ink. It could be infusible ink pens. It could be sublimation. There are so many things that you can do with this hat press and within Cricut Design Space. Okay, so I'm going to cut a couple of these out and I will meet you back on the craft table. Okay, so here we are back on the craft table and I've cut out my design, and so now I need to weed this design. And so there is now a True Control weeding kit. So we're gonna give this a whirl. So in this package there is like a non-stick blade tip and then a piercing tip, and I could see using the piercing tip a ton because sometimes I feel like the hook gets caught on things and I have actually ruined a few designs that way. So we're gonna give this guy a try. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is take a fabric ruler and just make sure that we're getting our design in the correct location. So Cricut has a suggested size for these, and so I use that in Cricut Design Space. I want to say, what did we say it was? 2.5 by 4 1/4. And so what I just want to do with the fabric tape now is to make sure that I am centering this design and putting it in place. So we're going to start with the outline or the offset of this design, and of course iron-on has a tacky back, so I'm just going to kind of generally put it in place. Make sure that you are prepared to do a couple of things. Keep your scissors handy, and because you're on a curved surface, what we're going to do is cut a couple of slits in our backer or our carrier sheet, and that will allow us to curve around. But this, even though it's tacky, it's not going to hold as well to this surface, and so that's when the heat tape is going to come into play. Okay, so what we want to do is I want to just look at this. Okay, so I have the 2 pieces of tape here. I just want to put a couple more pieces of tape, and you see the slit. I don't know if you can see this on camera, but the slit that I placed there, that is going to be super helpful because then I'm going to be able to make sure that the contour of the design is staying in place. So let's get one more piece. By the way, it fit really well in my tape dispenser there. Okay, and so then I'm just going to put another one up top. I want to make sure that it's a good fit. Now, once I have this on, and because this is a double layer, I just want to make sure, I'm just going to lay it on top real quick to make sure that I have everything where it should be. And I want to make sure that my center point here, I can use, you know, the center of the hat to make sure that my design is in place. So I want to say, let's see, from the center point to the edge, or from this thread to the edge. And so from this thread, oh, that's perfect. Perfect. Okay, so now I can go ahead and, you know, just pull that back off and set it to the side, and we can move over into the app and set up all of our settings. So we've chosen the hat press. We could choose our materials. We're going to use everyday. And then we're going to go to Cricut blanks at the bottom and choose ball cap. Next. And it tells us exactly the heat and everything that we need for our hat press. How many seconds and a cool peel, and then we can send it to our machine. I love that it actually walks you through the whole thing. You know exactly what temperature it is and how long it's going to take till it's ready. And you can do the preheat the blank for 5 seconds, which I did not do, but we should have done before we placed down our design. Just make sure that your cat is again cool before you apply your design, or you could get you know, some ghosting, especially if you're using sublimation or infusible ink. Okay, and it's ready. Okay, so now we've sent everything to the hat press and it is glowing green, which tells me it's ready. The go button is ready to go. And so on the second level, it's going to be a 60-second press, and then it's a cool peel. So what we want to do is, I'm just going to move my phone out of the way. And we're going to take a piece of parchment paper, not because we need it for ink bleed, but just simply because whenever you're with the hat press, you actually move back and forth a little bit, and you don't do that with the other easy presses. And so I just want something that's going to keep me from, you know, hitting these edges and maybe pulling my design up. So let's just place our piece of parchment paper, and again, it's not used, it's just well, I mean, it's used, but you know what I'm saying, it's not like ink used. Okay, so then we're going to take our hat press, and I'm going to put my hand in the bottom so I can get good, and then we're just going to slowly go back and forth until the timer goes off. Okay, so a couple of things I can say about this so far is I really like the shape of this machine. I have used the Easy Press Mini to do things before, but a flat surface against a curved surface, you're just never going to get the right coverage. And so the curvature of this really helps you to get good adhesion. Okay, so now that it's cool to the touch, we're just going to take our tape off. And while the carrier sheet's just coming right off. Look at that, guys. That is perfect. Absolutely perfect. I'm so excited. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to take the next layer and put that on and repeat the process. And you know what I think I want to do is I'm going to take my scissors. Let's just pick that up real quick. I'm going to take my scissors and maybe cut away some extra carrier and then just slit. I don't want to try to cut too close to it. And plus I want to make sure that I protect the white. So I'm just going to cut some slits in it so that it will move. And then we'll lay that down. Make sure that everything is in place. This is going to be darling. And I think I'm going to try to use that tape again. You guys know me, I don't like to waste anything. So let's use what we can. Okay, get some more. Good coverage all the way around. Especially on the corners where we're curving. Okay, I think we're ready to press. Okay, so then we're just going to take our parchment paper. Again, it's not going to bleed, but we just want to make sure that we're not snagging anything. And then we're going to press go. Light pressure. Hold on to the handle. Okay, let's see what it looks like. So I think it adhered. Looks pretty good all the way around. So now what we need to do is allow it to cool to the touch. Okay, so it's cool to the touch, so we'll just go ahead and take off our tape. Now, if for some reason the design, you know, pulls away with the carrier, just place it right back down before, but it looks like it's stuck really, really well, because you can always go over this another time. Unlike infusible ink and sublimation, HTV is not going to bleed. That looks so good. Okay, guys, I'm really, really excited about this and impressed. And it just adhered so well, and it's so dang cute. Okay, so let's go ahead and take it off of the mold. Okay, so there's the hat off of the form. So cute. I just have a million different ideas of what I'm going to make with this hat press. This is going to be a game changer for sporting events and just summer fun and things for the beach and all kinds of stuff. Okay, and so here's just a quick look at all the things we're going to be doing in the next video. So this is the Cricut trucker hat, and I could see this one being really fun. And then this is a really cute bucket hat that I got off of Amazon. Excited to try that out. And of course we could put designs, you know, like all over it. It wouldn't just have to be on the front facing of that hat. And then I also got another kind of like sun hat. It's kind of like a safari type hat. But I loved the bill of this. This would be really cute for the beach, well ventilated and all that good stuff. And then I got a visor because I love to have a visor in the summer when I'm running. This is terrible, but just to keep the sweat off of my face. It gets really hot in Alabama. And then a couple of sun hats. So I have this sun hat, and then this is my absolute favorite. So this is one that I picked up from Amazon the other day, and I am totally digging this. So I'll put links to all of these down below so you guys can check them out, but we'll be dolling these up in the next video. Okay, so that was a lot of fun. Like, I really enjoyed making that hat. That was pretty dang cool. So I hope that you will hit that subscribe button and make sure that you join me for my next video when we try out all these other kinds of hats and other methods and just see what this little guy can do. So if you have not already, hop down below and hit that subscribe button. And oh, by the way, I put links to everything that we used here today in the description. See you next time.